Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. I want to thank the members of the media for coming over here this afternoon. And I do want to thank the members of the cabinet who started very early this morning in Washington, made the trip down here to Texas for what I think is this very important, as there always are, very important cabinet meetings. Before we begin, I want to address the news about the uptick in measles cases. I'd like to say that under my administration, we're very involved in that as far as being able to track those cases, and we do encourage. Of course, it's up to the individual, but we do encourage measles vaccinations. But again, we're leaving it up to the individual on whether they pursue that or not. You know, those vaccinations have been around for a while, and so again, my administration's position on that is that we're going to let our parents and all Americans use their best judgment on this as we move forward. But just be advised that this administration is closely monitoring what's going on with that. We began this meeting on a strong note. The Housing for 21st Century Act is now law. And for those of us in this room, that was a long time in coming, a long time. We started out in 2020. It's a long time ago, isn't it? 2020, with the goal of limiting corporations buying homes. And with the 21st Century Act, the Housing Act, we've accomplished that. We're not eliminating companies from buying homes, but what we're doing is putting regulations in so that it makes it a little bit more difficult. Because the one thing that I firmly believe in is that when corporations come in and try to buy homes, they are decreasing the value of the homes in the neighborhood. And not all the times, but a lot of times, they're bringing in the wrong tenants. So we've always wanted a 5-year limit or a 5-year term when a corporation buys a home. It's yours for 5 years. With this act, we got 2 years, and I'm happy with that. Again, that's bipartisan work. So I believe this is a big step in the positive direction in bringing our neighborhoods back in line and getting housing for all the people, because your home is your biggest investment. A lot of people, I know Andre and I did, but a lot of folks, we worked very hard to get our homes, and then when we get in those homes, we see other homes being flipped, and like I mentioned, sometimes the wrong people move into those homes, and that diminishes the home value. So I'm glad to see that in law. Now we've got to move forward with local regulations. I'm going to leave it up to the local cities to enact those, but I believe it should mirror what it does on a federal level. We're not trying to overstep the boundaries on the federal side, but neighborhoods are important, and they are the life of these cities. Like I was saying, stable housing it's not a side issue. It is the foundation for everything else. When families have a safe place to live, children can focus on school, parents can focus on work, and communities can grow with confidence. That progress matters, and I want to thank everyone at the table here who came here, who helped move it forward. I think this is one of the biggest accomplishments of this administration, and I'm very proud of each and every one of you. With that foundation in place and that victory behind us, we now turn our focus to education, which is the second uh, item on our agenda when we came in 2020. Back to basics is about getting the fundamentals right. That's why it's called Back to Basics. It means stronger, earlier reading and mathematics instruction so that every child masters the skills that open every other door. It means rule support for teachers. It means competitive pay, retention bonuses, mentoring, and loan relief. And one of the things um, that this I want this plan to fix is the fact that, uh, especially on the state level, we work, or on state level, they work to increase teacher pay. Because as I've said many times, teachers sometimes live or at below poverty, and so they've given teachers raises. But what happens then? You put the burden on the school district, and they have to find out or figure out where they're going to get the money to pay these raises. What Back to Basics does is it will fund these raises. We proposed $1.72 trillion in education spending. That is an incredible amount. Almost, it's second behind the Department of Defense, because I think it's that important. So what Back to Basics is going to do, it's going to finance or fund these teacher pay increases. We've got to do it. Teacher retention levels are low. Sometimes a lot of folks will get into the teaching career just for the lure of having summers off and being done with school at 3:45, but they quickly realize that that is not the case, and they lead the profession. What the Back to Basics plan, what I want to do underneath that or by that plan, is to ensure that teachers get a livable wage, and we pay retention bonuses as well. And so the whole idea behind that is good teachers stay in the classroom instead of leaving the profession. It means clear metrics and accountability so we know what is working and what needs to be fixed. High needs suburban and rural districts have carried a heavy burden of teacher shortages and uneven resources. I want us to focus on results in these communities. I also want us aligned on the broader work of lowering cost and strengthening families. Inflation remains a concern for too many households, and it remains a concern here under this administration. Energy costs, food prices, and everyday expenses still weigh on working people. Every agency around this room here in this table today, every agency has a role in delivering practical help, whether through nutrition programs, housing support, or better coordination across government. One of the things I want to work on as well, and this is part of the Back to Basics program, is to improve childhood nutrition in our schools. We've got to fix this because so many kids, first of all, so many kids are going to school hungry. Secondly, when they get to school, they get that meal. It's not something that they want to eat. It's not appeasing to them, and they throw it away. So we're wasting our efforts on this. So we need to redefine the nutrition guidelines, staying still healthy, but also appealing to the students to see what they want to make it more appealing. Because the one thing, students cannot learn on an empty stomach. They cannot learn on an empty stomach. So we've got to fix this. These guidelines have not been updated since about 3 administrations ago. So it's time to do this. It's time to do this. Today, I want clear progress reports and honest assessments on challenges and concrete next steps. We will leave this room with priorities locked in and responsibility assigned. And that's why I called you down here to Texas today. This is unique in doing this. I think this is actually the the first, actually, I said second time, but the first time since President Johnson that we've had a cabinet meeting here in Texas. So it's an honor to have you here in my hometown. And so we'll usher the press out and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you guys very much. Thank you.